Come one, come all to a beautiful show. It's gonna be awesome and some other stuff. Some other musical stuff.
You Ghostnuts, motherfucker.
Welcome everyone to another episode of the Ghostnuts podcast, episode 59.
Fucking, you're coming out hot today.
Oh, just I'm on fire. We got our fucking special guest today, all the way from the US of A, Mr. NYPatriot. Welcome back.
What's going on? Thanks for having me on. Thank you very much.
No problem. It's last time we had a chat, it's like you guys were in lockdown and we were free. Now the roles reversed. We're in lockdown and you guys are free.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, I mean, it's you got what 35 casualties.
Crazy numbers.
Yeah, something to close the whole fucking country down over. But anyway, that's none of your business. You've got
terror. Oh my god, couldn't even
crazy shit. Anyway, you guys have a special event coming up in a couple of days, July 4th. Yeah. So this can be our honorary July 4th crossover with the US of A special.
Oh, that's very good. That's funny.
Very cute, eh?
Thing was for actually, Valentine's Day. So we did two things.
Fuck, some sexual tension going on between us.
I know what's going on. It's always when love is in the air.
You got a thing for Australians? What's going on?
Anyway, we have some interesting episode today. It's a very touchy subject, but last time we did a touchy subject, our episode got removed. But this time it should hopefully stay strong, depending on platforms that want to associate with liberty. Not lubricant or that, whatever you guys are into. But we're going to talk about today about the Qanon Psyop.
See, now if you have problems with this coming down, it's probably because some bitch didn't want to hear it and they told on you and reported you.
That is probably true. Look, to be honest with this whole QAnon thing, remember when I first started looking into it, it was way too deep and complex, and it was spawning off into all these different offshoots of shit, and I'm like, fucking hell, I don't have the time to invest my life into this and to track it. But a lot of it seemed far-fetched, fabricated to my untrained eye. But what's...
Well, I mean, yeah, I think it's far-fetched. I think it's to make you, a little bit more delusional than the average conspiracy person. Now, I'm not saying those people are crazy, but when you start getting into conspiracy theories, you start opening up your ideas to like what's possible. It's easy to push somebody a little bit too far to where now they won't see anything either. You know what I'm saying? To where it's just as if your eyes are closed.
Yeah.
Well, you just did a long 7-part sort of episode series on this whole situation, tying in occultism and sort of numerology and the cults sector of infiltration in this whole shit show. And you can find that on your show, if you'd like to plug it, just real quick.
The Occult Rejects. We have the Order of Quetzalcoatl series. That pretty much is it's a 7-part series. It's probably 7 hours or more. It covers the whole thing with QAnon being a Psy-Op, and we go into a couple of different avenues. There's one of them that we try to show you and don't talk about much. So if you could actually sit down and look at it, you might be able to see a little bit more than what we talk about, and you'd even see more online presence that's being used to force an ideology onto people.
So we're going to try to do a quick 7-hour summary into
a Ghostnuts compression,
like a little Ghostnuts little summary of your whole spaghetti
7-hour fucking encyclopedia of...
Yeah, what can you please say that word again? I can't even pronounce it.
Quetzalcoatl. Yeah.
Yeah? Is that where the Q comes from?
Yes.
Allegedly?
Well, the Q, Well, that's something I can even go into real quick. Q, the 17th letter of the Hebrew alphabet, pretty much can be resembled as a snake mouth with a tongue hanging out. In occultism, it's also known, like with the Hebrew alphabet, certain letters can also resemble like a part of the body or an animal or something. This is
Wait, before we get into this, I just like people who don't know what the fucking this Q conspiracy is, this Q movement is. Like, how could you sum it up? Like, what is this QAnon shit?
say it's a thing. It woke people up and then gave them a savior to make them submissive and delusional. In my opinion, that's exactly the problem with this, and that's exactly what it is. It showed
To make them
some horrors of man and woke people up. It got women involved more, a hell of a lot more in conspiracies and in politics now. So now you have even more division, more people aggravated, more people fearful, more people hateful. So, woke a lot of people up and then sold them. It took off handcuffs and gave them gold-plated, bedazzled ones instead. So they think they're woke, but still in slavery. But it's just pretty now.
So it seems like a kind of conspiracy political movement that tried to, like a fake awakening of people.
Yes.
In a sense.
One thing I'm going to go into like real quick. I'll mention it now because it goes back to what I was trying to get at with my series about something that we didn't go into. I don't know if, a lot of people nowadays don't remember, don't know, maybe just forgot about or don't care. You guys might remember if you've been around long enough, but if you go back to like 2010 or, around there, Anonymous was big. And at one point, something happened and it split up into different sections. I don't think a lot of people understand the history and understand who those other factions are. Because believe me, one of them has still been pulling strings since then, clowning a lot of motherfuckers.
Do we know who this guy is?
Well, look into them. Start looking into different fashions and sects of Anonymous, and just going by the stuff that I just said right now, you should have no problem finding it. They think they have an army, and they talk about clowns a lot.
So you just linked it with like the Shriners and shit?
I think that might be part of it too. Yes, I think the Shriners because of the clowns. There was bands in our thing that we have where there was bands that promoted Shriners and had Shriners in their videos, and Shriner like stuff on their album covers that played at Comic Ping Pong. So that was very sketchy. They even recorded one of their movie theaters, one of their movie videos there. Tons of occultism in it. Shriner hats are in it. So that's a little weird. Then you start seeing like people associated with the bands that are fuck. Sorry, I got thrown off track.
It's all right.
Oh, yeah, you have a few bands that are kind of like promoting Shrinerism, and that you start seeing connecting to the same people that are involved in that old Anonymous group. They start to overlap with certain bands or certain hashtags that they're both using, certain practices or ideas. You can actually catch on YouTube and on social media them like weaving.
So like how at one point people were using hashtags on Instagram with this whole Comet Ping Pong, Jimmy Comet, James Elephantis shit.
If you look up I Am a Resident 2021, that is a hashtag. That is a band, The Residents, and you will find from that hashtag, you will find people that are associated with fucking hackers online that dress up like fucking clowns that are associated with that band that is also associated with Shrinerism and sick keto shit.
So for people who are unaware, what's a quick little description of Shrinerism? What's a Shriner?
The inner order of Freemasons. Okay. You have to become a Shriner, and then there is also the the Royal Order of the Jesters, which is an inner order of Shriners.
Is that do you have to reach like a specific degree in Freemasonry to
You
achieve
have to
that,
get
or
asked. To become a Shriner, you used to have to be a 33rd. Now you only have to be a third degree. They will let you become a Shriner then, but now in order to become a Jester, you have to be asked. And there's also another order that is an inner order of the Shriners. That is the order of Quetzalcoatl, and that you also have to be asked to do. You have to be asked to become a member of. You cannot apply.
I was listening to your episodes on that, and there is some history if you want to quickly touch base on regarding the Rothschilds with that, right?
Yeah, they have a thing called the Feast of Fire. Though that is like the yearly thing for the Order of Quetzalcoatl. That's also it's like one of their festivals that they do quite oftenly. I'm almost positive they do it every year. Sometimes and at big events, you will have sponsors that we have, and we show you the flyers. And even on their own website, you have the Rothschilds and the YMCA and a couple of other big, or known names that promote and fund this Feast of Fire.
So that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, we even have videos of what maybe 20-second clips, but two of them of what this stuff looks like, and it's just like a thing out in out in the town, out in the road, families, kids, everybody's just out on the side, chilling out, watching this just weird shit just go down the street. There was even one part where it looked like the same tiger that Katy Perry was riding in the Super Bowl.
So like occultism, like in plain sight, pretty much.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, so let's do a quick establishment of what we just mentioned. We've got Q, sort of.
That's the order
down from Anonymous.
I think they got that. Yeah, I think QAnon took Q from the order of Quetzalcoatl.
Okay, and in symbology, we can see it's reminiscent of a snake.
Yes, it would be like the mouth open, the tongue hanging out would be the snake. That also is the Shriner hat. Let's say you had the Shriner hat and you put it on the floor and you were looking down on top of the hat and you had the tassel hanging off, it would look like a Q.
So you believe this whole QAnon movement is basically, the Quetzalcoatl movement?
That's all. It's a huge part of it. I mean, like I was saying, the 17th tarot card. Well, one is the Tower. That could maybe, but it would be numbered 16 because there is a 0. But it does have a picture of a snake wrapping up a tower, and then it has the 17th letter of the Hebrew alphabet. Like I mentioned, is also a snake. It could be. It's also goes to the whole idea of speech, or in occultism or mystically, it could be like manipulation. Like the snake is whispering lies into your ears, and you are believing a completely different world.
So you believe that's like the euphemism for this whole Q movement?
Yes, that's a big, huge part of it. Yes, yep.
And what exactly do you reckon the tower symbolizes?
My erect.
I mean, there's a couple of different things. I mean, there's been times we thought that might have had something to do with Trump. There was times when we thought that might have just really have that kind of scenario isn't too far off from where I could see humanity going.
Do you reckon there are links with like a Tower of Babel?
Yes.
Yep.
See, but then, this is where it gets weird, because now if you are a part of the occultism where you believe that there might be a dome, that can change the whole idea of what the tower is now. Because that could be like people knew of the dome and they were determined to build the tower to reach the top to break out.
Yeah.
So now that goes into a whole other idea of what the tower could really resemble. So,
what do you think? Who are some key players you think are behind this? Because at the end of the day, it became big on like a 4chan server or some shit.
Oh well, it started on 4chan and then went over to 8chan. Now this is
That's a red flag if you ever see one.
Fucking blows my fucking mind that this even happens. All right, now you got this Q guy, this motherfucker behind this green curtain, this magician, this fucking know-it-all, pointing fingers at all these people, all these fucking pedophiles, all these fucking kitty touchers. Knows all these things. In my opinion, it looks like it's even somebody who's just scrying. Like it's somebody in occultism, in my opinion, piercing either into the past or into the future somehow. That's my opinion. But this supposed know-it-all has no idea that the owner of 8chan was James Watkins, and that he was the first person to introduce Japanese porn into the United States. And at the time when he did that, and at the time when he did that, it was still legal in Japan for child pornography. So now if he had the servers in Japan and he's sending this shit straight into the United States, he can send that fucking child pornography also, because it's coming from Japan, not from the United States.
Therefore legal, yeah.
So he had that. He had jimisabadman.com or whatever it was. He had his own sites. He had his own things where it showed him with his fucking own hand on a fucking young girl's legs. This dude was a sick fuck. All right, he's in the Philippines. In the Philippines, you can screw 12-year-olds. He's over there in the Philippines.
Because that's the age of consent, right?
Yes. You even have the guy Brennan, the dude in the wheelchair. I don't know really much about him. I mean, I would say, I hate to say from looking at the dude, he's got to pay for ass. But he's also over in the Philippines too, or he was at one point. So, I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know how, maybe he's not totally innocent also, I'm not sure.
As an outsider on this, I wouldn't believe a country like the Philippines would have such strong internet servers.
Oh, they got good internet over there.
They do? Okay.
Yeah.
But supposedly this all-knowing QAnon person had no idea that the website that they were doing all their shit and dropping all their stuff on was doing the same thing that you're talking about stopping.
So you have some guy...
contradiction.
Yeah, that the site that you're on is owned by a dude who hosts pedophilia in the United States. QAnon doesn't know this? And now if I was James Watkins and these motherfuckers were dropping all this shit on my site and it was legit, I'd be like, no, this dude's got to go before he starts pointing the finger at me. And I would just be fucking deleting and blocking that shit every time it showed up out of protecting myself, because I don't want to get told on. This shit's a fucking scam. There's no way. There's no way neither person knew about the other one. That's bullshit.
Surely, once all these Q drops started becoming prominent and a fan base started growing, couldn't they just shut down 8chan?
Well, it's a good, if you look at it like NYPatriot saying,
they let it.
It's a good advertisement for 8chan.
It is, it's true.
You're bringing people to the site.
Yep.
Now,
That guy also had, I think, a site called Pink Chan or some shit like that too.
what is that?
He had a couple other chans. It was like more of like a weird adult conversations.
You
probably
thought
owns-
8chan couldn't get any weirder. You got fucking Pink Chan.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you if any of your listeners go to our it's not actually labeled the Order of Quetzalcoatl. It's Rise of the Psy-Op. I think it's called Magicians and Sick Fucks Behind the Curtain or some shit like that. Rise of the Psy-Op is the one that goes into that a lot about James Watkins. I mean, this is a crazy thing now. We're covering the Loyal Order of the Moose. We're about to release that. And somehow we have come to somebody with the last name of Watkins involved in that one too.
Okay, so you reckon there's a tie in there, yeah?
I don't know. I mean, there was a Melvin and a Diane Watkins. And, and one of them even tied to an Oddfellows too. It was really weird. We have shit coming out on that one that ties to crime scene cleanup companies, a special ops company, and a Cornerstone Baptist church. All connected like through the same people.
So you said in this episode that you made, there was this guy that was paying for... Wait, before I get into that, I want to talk about specific sort of people involved into the rise of QAnon.
This whole Q movement.
Yeah, first of all, you've got apparently JFK Jr., as like some savior that's going to come back from the dead. Do you know like how things tie up with that?
What significance does fucking believing in a dead possible presidential candidate have?
If you can get some, this kind of goes along even with initiations or degrees in secret societies. If I can get you to do something kind of fucked up in the 5th degree, then I know I can get you to do something probably even worse, a little bit higher. If I can get you to believe this fucking bullshit right here, I know I can take you even a little bit more farther from the truth after that too.
Yeah,
It makes sense.
because why do they get this? Like, for example, their slogan is "Where we go, one we go all," and that's apparently from a
666.
bill on. Sorry.
All the W's 666.
Okay, so is that where that ties in?
No, well, I mean, there's some. If you start getting into gematria and Hebrew, some people will say that is for 666. Yes.
Yeah, and they say that it was on JFK's boat on the bill. It was engraved on his boat or some shit.
I have no idea.
Yeah, but that's where like I heard that like.
Oh
come
yeah,
from.
it's like engraved on a bell or some shit that he has, right? Or a Liberty Bell.
Yeah. So he thinks that by doing liberty, they're going to liberate the people of America to revolt against the deep state.
Well, I'm gonna even put it this way. I mean, I've often wondered if that whole thing is like is just like a cryptic message or maybe numericals or means something else because the whole idea of the bell being broken is actually a huge occult symbol. So I've often wondered if that whole where we go one, that whole little fucking thing written on a bell isn't actually something just to say a story in occultism.
So what symbolism does a broken bell represent?
Breaking the moon matrix. That would give us freedom and liberty if we broke the moon matrix, because the moon's like a ring bell in the sky.
So we
I know
have
that's far out there. You asked.
No, but it's good to know the symbolism to see what people believe,
Yeah. Oh well, look like that you start ringing a bell, it starts getting everybody's attention. People fucking start walking just like zombies to fucking church or wherever they got to go. The magic spell of the fucking bell ringing. It calls people for whom the bell tolls. It's a very occult idea. This vibrational ringing does something to you to make you change.
the QAnon movement became very big during the 2020 presidential election, and it even led to an insurrection, which is not an inverted erection. It's
What would that feel like? It's like you're fucking yourself in inverted erection.
maybe that's what the whole
Might as
plan.
well just sit on a fucking dildo.
Well, it led up to this event, and prior to this, you had some people helping assist in it, like one Lin Wood.
Who is Lin Wood?
What do you think Lin Wood's situation like? Was he part of it? Like, what do you feel like his involvement was?
I think he might. I think he knows a lot more than he's talking about. I think it's because he might even be one of the sick fucks involved. I hate to say it. Or he's not who he appears to be at all.
Because if you look at Lin Wood's past, he
I
wasn't.
think he's
Wasn't he
playing
the
an
lawyer
very good. Yes, he was for the Benet family.
for the John Bonet case? Yeah.
And when somebody else had told me to look into one of his other cases, that one of them, there's another one supposedly that's real fucking shady too that I have not looked into, but I need to. But I have been told that he had another one too that was very shady for him.
So with this whole Q movement, right, he was seen as like a beacon of light in some
Oh
ways.
yeah, screaming about Jesus, making the Q, drawing it with his hands viciously, drawing a Q in the air, and charging $100 a fucking seat to come watch him do it.
So you
He's a
believe
fucking-
Lin
Cash
Wood was
grab
just
X-22. Is it just another?
so he was just in it for the money, for the clout.
I think so. Yeah, for sure.
Because when has Lin Wood ever been more popular than this whole 2020 election campaign with this whole Q movement pushing like this
Yo, when did you hear of Isaac Cappy before this bullshit? Never. That guy's more
Never,
famous than fucking QAnon because nobody who the fuck he was when he was in movies.
People still don't know.
Sorry, I think that guy's a bunch of bullshit too.
What about what you just mentioned X-22?
Yeah, well, that guy, he's a piece of shit propaganda artist from upstate New York.
Allegedly,
Fucking
alleged.
David Fishman or some shit.
I've got,
His logo his logo is a mercurial logo.
what does that mean?
Yeah, please explain.
If you wanted to be a salesman, well, all right. I mean, I'll break it down. Mercury is an air. It's associated with the element of air. That's thinking, knowledge, communications, speech, sometimes flight. Just a lot of stuff of the mind and a little bit of business and some money matters. So now if you wanted to speak real slick and be a really good salesman and make some fucking money, Mercury would be a really good, really good energy to work with. And his logo looks just like a Mercury talisman that I even post up in I think part 4 or 5 of the Quetzalcoatl series.
Interesting.
It has like the little symbol that looks like the thing where it shows like his red lines kind of like zigzagging and then going down. It's just totally upside down the opposite way. It almost looks like a hockey stick. It has the X. It has 2 circles on each side instead of the 2. And then it even has this little scribble thing right on the top where he puts the Bible. Let me put the Bible up there so now I look like, a good guy and you can all send me money and buy all my shit.
Like the Vatican.
Yeah, fucking liar. He's a propaganda artist. That's all he is. It's disgusting.
One more person that I want to just get your...
We're just roasting all these...
No. There's this one person I want to get your opinion on. What the fuck does my pillow guy have to do with this whole thing?
Yeah. Just because you own a company doesn't mean you're that successful. Sometimes you could be going out of business and nobody would even know until going out of business. So I don't know how well this guy was doing, but I mean, is it possible to say that he might be doing better now than he was before? That's quite possible because I'm sure there's Trump fans or conservatives or Republicans that didn't really know who he was now and have probably gone out to buy the fucking pillow to support the
They're
dude.
buying the pillow. They're fucking the pillow. They're probably dry humping that shit.
So, maybe it's just another cash grab here, too. I mean, he's going to come out with frankspeech.com. What the fuck was that? Give me your phone number and your fucking email address, and we'll get back to you, blah, blah, blah. Nothing ever happened. Was that just a way to fucking grab fucking people's info?
Sell off people's personal information.
What the fuck was that about? But no, you don't hear anybody saying anything about it, though. You don't have no fucking Q fans, no fucking nobody. Well, what happened to Frank's speech? Crickets. What the fuck was up with that? Why is it asked for all that fucking information and nothing ever happened? The first day you had maybe fucking 10 hours of video up. It was a fucking bullshit.
Yeah, never trust a guy with a mustache that sells pillows.
The January 6th.
Oh, yeah, we never got into that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Can you give us a summary?
January 6th, you had that shaman dude. We actually have pictures of him.
Just a refresher of what happened on January 6th, just so people understand the significance. Yeah.
Yeah, the insurrection, and in my opinion, there was a war ritual that was done with that Q-Shaman dude inside there.
Because in your video, you showed footage of this Q-Shaman with that other bloke that's sort of
Watkins.
together.
That's what I was just going to. Now, Watkins wasn't even supposed to be here. He's actually not. I think I could be wrong, but I think he's been kicked out of the United States. So that's another reason why he went to the Philippines. Now, this guy has also been in, I think, the service here. There's good possibility that Michael Aquino even was the lawyer for him in his first divorce.
And for those who don't know, that's that satanic eyebrow-looking motherfucker that assisted Anton LaVey.
Yeah, he was a sick fuck. LaVey was a bit of a Hollywood,
Showman.
but this motherfucker was the real deal.
Yeah.
Fucking king of psyops too.
Yeah, he was in the army as well.
Yeah, for that shit.
Psychological warfare.
Yeah, but so yeah, we had James Watkins was there. I don't know if it was the same day, but you do see we have pictures of him with the Q-Shaman dude. Now Watkins isn't even supposed to technically even be in the United States. So what's up with that? Why is he over here? And then that happens. Somebody dies. I mean, and it's, if you look at what he's doing, he's sitting between the pillars. He's got two pillars onto the sides of him. Behind them, he's the middle pillar. He's claiming his throne. It's a war. He's even has almost identical outfit for a specific war ritual. I don't remember the exact name of it. Lux, I remember found it, but the horns and that fur and all that shit. That was all a specific outfit.
So what significance does
claiming? My opinion, I think it was for kind of like claiming like I hate the phrase, but like the new guard taking over the old guard. Oh, I hate that phrase, but or like a new Aeon, I guess. Really, I mean, in my opinion, that was a version of kind of saying that, maybe politically, but I think it's going to be bringing in chaos, destruction, or change for sure.
Well, if this insurrection was, as you say,
I would not be surprised if something fucked up doesn't happen in August or September.
So if this insurrection was, as you said, maybe an occult ceremony, perhaps with a shaman being at the helm of it, with a sacrifice, someone dying, what do you believe this QAnon is going to bring to the future?
Oh, QAnon? Oh, God. If it continues to stay as popular as it is or grow, it will aid just as bad as the left to ruining humanity and throwing fucking chains on a lot of us. That's my opinion. People will be so delusional that the Fourth Reich will be walking down the street and they'll be texting their boy, yo, hold the line. It's supposed to be like this. Yeah. That's how fucking crazy it will get. And that's fucking scary.
Do you feel like this whole Q movement has lost some steam since Trump has, in quotation marks, lost?
It has lost some, but the crazy thing is that, and it's funny, I'll be telling Lux because, I have like my Instagram page. So, and I follow everybody back. So I see, for the most part, I see what everybody posts. The funniest things is like, this is the craziest shit. And I even did it a few days ago. I happened to make a post about something. I think it was a lip read of Joe Biden that was going around. That it was like this. It seemed to be very big with the Q fans. It was this supposed lip read, and he's like, "Oh, I'm scared. Are they gonna handcuff me? Did they take my gun?" Some weird shit like that. I fucking saved it and put it back up and said, "If you believe this is real, unfollow me now." Yo, people are so fucking blind. I had Q-tards going on, thinking like, yeah, he's going to jail. They had no idea what I even wrote. All they did was watch the video. They did not even read what the fuck I wrote. That's how oblivious people are.
Brainwashed.
And that's how bad they will just see whatever the fuck they want to see. They didn't even read what I wrote. They saw that. It's probably something they neither saw before or they just wanted to believe it so much. That was it. Game, done and over with. I didn't have to look into it. It made me feel better. It made me feel safer. And now I don't need to get out of my fucking chair or do anything.
Yeah, it's like they've brainwashed the masses.
Yes. And I was like, yo, I'm looking and I'm like messaging a couple of my boys. I'm like, yo, go look at my last post. I'm like, these people don't even fucking get it, man. Like I'm talking shit and you don't even realize it. And that's like another thing. Like some of these accounts that I watch, like they'll be posting the most outlandish stuff. And I'm like, if you even knew what I posted or what I said on my own shows, you would not be following me. That shows you how oblivious you are to people that you're following.
Feels like these social media platforms have helped this propagate, like help this movement spread as well.
For sure. I think if this shit got fucking destroyed, humanity would be a hell of a lot better, actually.
Well, as they
What sucks is that the problem, you have to actually fight the problem with the problem. Like, we're out here now talking online and getting our message out through the internet, but the internet's really the one that's the problem to begin with, because it's just connecting fucking all these different shit together and destroying, thoughts and whatever.
It's connecting the good and the bad.
Yeah, it's just fucking screwing shit up.
Well, I don't want to quote QAnon, but I guess we've just got to sit back and watch the show, right?
Oh man, no, but I don't. I mean, I do hope that and it's not that. Believe me, it woke people up, and I think that was a good thing. That was a good thing. I think it did wake a lot of people up. But you need to realize that shit's a lot worse. Shit's real, and we don't have some savior for us. If it wasn't for the whole savior idea, and putting fucking Trump up on this fucking pedestal, I mean, when has any conspiracy? That's another thing that blows my mind. You go a few years back. When did people into conspiracy world or the truth movement ever pick one side before? I've never seen that shit. We always pointed fingers at everybody.
Well, exactly. If it wasn't Bill Clinton, it was George Bush.
Where did this come from? Nobody even questioned it. Oh, yeah, that sounds about right, yeah. Question everything except for what, QAnon and Trump says.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Where the fuck did that come from? How did that get
accepted? They deified Trump. They made him into a god.
Yes, how did that get accepted? That's the problem.
Well,
people could fit in and feel fucking good. They don't. A lot of people that are on the right don't realize how much like the left that they really are.
You're crazy because
so you can get fucking likes and feel good and to have fucking friends tell you that you're fucking cool.
It's true. Like, it's crazy because this whole this QAnon movement has fucking even moved down to Australia, and you've got meetings and gatherings of people here, like, which is mostly a pro-American agenda being fucking supported here.
Last 2 years, I never seen the most fake fucking bleached blonde hair fucking retards in my life that just sit there with their tits sticking out their fucking ass, twirling their fucking hair with a MAGA hat on, acting like that they're a fucking conservative, where you're acting just like a fucking slut like the left does.
I'm a fan. I'm following all those accounts.
No, you're no different than the left. You just look a little bit nicer. You're the same fucking thing. You're virtue signaling. You're begging for fucking attention and using politics for it. Yeah, that's all you are. You're just an emotional fucking mess. But you just look a little bit prettier than the fucking left.
You got some bolt-ons to go with it.
No, but I see that shit constantly. I'm like, do you not realize you're just the same shit on the other side?
They're picking their niche market,
Like,
then in their bio, subscribe to my OnlyFans.
I'm fucking different, man. Anyway, it's just you just see this shit and you're like, yo, really? Like, you motherfuckers are all the same motherfucking people. You just look a little bit different and you're all fucking shit talking the next one. When you're all just emotional fucking babies.
All we have to do is just wait for JFK Jr. to drop from that fucking helicopter on Mount Rushmore, and everything will be solved. And
what's he gonna do? Come on a Black Hawk with a fucking minigun and mow down all the fucking. Anyway,
you never know. He might come down in a UFO.
His fucking head in his hand too.
No, there you go.
Holding it by your fucking hair.
That's it. Anyway, in saying that, GhostnutsPodcast.com. It was a pleasure having you on again. Happy July 4th when it happens. You can watch the whole
extended
series,
fucking breakdown.
Extended, uncut. NYPatriot gets it all out.
And we're not talking about the fucking
information.
The real snake, if you know what I'm saying. The fucking python.
That's it. So
Anaconda.
Sorry to short sell you.
If you want to plug your series again one last time.
Oh yeah, that's right. I have the NYPatriot. I'm on BitChute, YouTube, Apple. I might be on Spotify, and then we also have the Occult Rejects. Now we're on BitChute, Rumble, Anchor, Spotify, Apple, Gab TV.
Just
the
anywhere
Occult
you search, you will find.
That's
Yeah.
it. Open your eyes and
and the NYPatriot.
beautiful. And that's it for another episode. Enjoy your weekend in lockdown here in Australia, and enjoy your weekend partying on July 4th with those shoetards you mentioned before.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna have some fun.
And there's trumpets.
Yeah.
All right, man. Peace.
Yeah, ghost
All right, later, bro.
Ghostnuts, motherfucker.
Ghostnuts podcast, boys.
Are they discussing this on the Ghostnuts podcast? Are you? You guys need to break this fucking down.
Get to the chopper! Kill your fucking selves, you fucking globalists!
We can't see them, they can't see us.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
God, I love those Ghostnuts.